The Middle East stands on the edge of fire. Israel readies for deeper strikes while Iran rallies the Islamic bloc. Khamenei rejects US talks, branding diplomacy a trap. And every move feels like a countdown to the next war. Dr. Jacques Neriah, a former senior military intelligence officer in the Israeli army, has cautioned that a second round of conflict with Iran may be imminent, noting that Hezbollah operatives were recently ordered to keep away from their phones. On August 24th, Neriah noted that the order for Hezbollah to keep away from their phones was an indication that preparations are underway for potential Iranian retaliation.
There is a sense that a war is coming, that Iranian revenge is in the works. The Iranians will not be able to live with this humiliation for long. If the reports are true and there will be a meeting between the two leaders, this is huge news. We dreamed of this, we wanted this, and now it is coming true before our eyes.
Dr. Neriah explained that Tehran would not be able to tolerate what he described as its recent humiliation, suggesting that retaliation is a matter of when, not if. He also reflected on diplomatic developments in the region, pointing to recent talks between Israel and Syria. He described the dialogue as significant, emphasizing that under different circumstances, such a meeting would have been headline news across Syria. While hopes for a peace agreement remain unlikely, he assessed that the discussions are more likely to produce a renewed security arrangement based on the 1974 disengagement accord.
In different circumstances, this would have been the headline across all Syrian media. Who hasn't dreamed of a peace agreement with Syria? Because of the circumstances that have developed on the ground, we will probably reach a security agreement. The Syrians want to return to the 1974 disengagement agreement. As proof that they are serious, they are intercepting Hezbollah weapons shipments and preventing the terrorist organization from rebuilding its strength. This stems from a convergence of interests. The Syrians want the Israeli front to remain quiet.
According to Dr. Neriah, Damascus has shown seriousness by intercepting Hezbollah arms shipments, a move he linked to Syria's strategic interest in keeping its front with Israel quiet. Israel is moving to expand its long-range strike capabilities with the purchase of 2 additional Boeing KC-46 aerial refueling aircraft, according to reporting by Inet. The $500 million deal will bring Israel's future tanker fleet to 6, replacing older aircraft that had been deployed during operations against Houthi rebels in Yemen and, more recently, in the June conflict with Iran. Military officials told Israeli media that the new aircraft are intended to support sustained air operations deep into Iranian territory, shortening the length of any future confrontation. During the 12-day war in June, Israeli forces conducted strikes against Iranian military and nuclear facilities, while Iran responded with missile barrages targeting Israeli cities. A US-brokered ceasefire halted the fighting, but both sides have since continued preparations for renewed hostilities. In Tehran, senior leaders are signaling determination to respond more forcefully if conflict resumes. Revolutionary Guards Commander Mohammad Pakpour warned that any renewed Israeli attacks would prompt what he called a crushing response. Earlier, Ali Larijani, the country's top security official, emphasized the need to build defensive capacities, describing the current ceasefire as only a temporary pause in an ongoing war. Iran has accused Israel of threatening Muslim nations and urged the Islamic bloc to take coordinated action. In an opinion piece for Asharq al-Awsat, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi called on the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to impose sanctions, prosecute Israeli leaders, and form an international coalition. He argued that the upcoming OIC meeting in Jeddah should move beyond symbolic condemnations.
The illusion of Greater Israel is an existential danger and a threat to international peace and security. Any doubt, weakness, or illusion based on trust in deceptive promises such as the Abraham Accords will lead to great harm for the Islamic nation.
Araghchi described what he called the illusion of Greater Israel as a danger to regional stability and international security. He also warned member states against relying on initiatives such as the Abraham Accords, saying misplaced trust in them would harm the Islamic world. The OIC Council of Foreign Ministers is slated to be held in Saudi Arabia on Monday. Araghchi's comments came as reports from Lebanon indicated that Syria has advanced talks on normalizing ties with Israel. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump claimed Iran's nuclear arsenal had been obliterated and again urged regional governments to join the Abraham Accords. Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has dismissed calls for direct negotiations with the United States, saying Washington's hostility toward Tehran cannot be resolved through talks. Speaking at a ceremony in Tehran, Khamenei argued that advocates of engagement were overlooking America's true objectives, which he described as undermining Iran's system of governance. He said US officials wrongly assumed Iran would collapse after the June 13th Israeli-led strikes and subsequent American discussions on a possible replacement government. According to Khamenei, those meetings even considered appointing a monarch for a post-Islamic Republic order, an assumption he called misguided.
They were so convinced that this attack would shake the foundation of the Islamic Republic in the country. They were so convinced that it would turn the people against the Islamic Republic. They were so sure that one day, after the attack began, they sat down to discuss who would govern Iran after the Islamic Republic and how. They even appointed a king. Negotiation with America is unsolvable. Trump wants Iran to obey America's orders. The Iranian nation is deeply offended by such a great insult and will stand up with all its strength to those who hold such misguided expectations.
Khamenei, who remained absent from public view for more than 3 weeks after the attacks, said the resilience of Iran's institutions and unity among the people had proven that the state could not be subdued by war or coercion. Turning to Israel, Khamenei described it as the most despised government in the world and voiced support for Yemen's Houthi movement, which has targeted Israeli assets since last year. He pledged that Iran remained prepared for future conflict, insisting the country must safeguard solidarity across society and back President Masoud Pezeshkian's administration.